What's up everyone? One more day here with another episode of the show Rig on Fire. Today we're gonna take a look at this Cuvave Cube Baby from Cuvave. This is an OEM version. You can see here it's a real Cube Baby from Cuvave, but it's an OEM. They put whatever they want here because for other companies. Anyways, this is a very affordable multi-effects in a very little package. Let's see if this little tiny thing is good or not. Before we go any further, let me say that again. This is not my main channel. When I try to say this is not my first channel. My bigger channel is in Portuguese because I'm from Brazil, but I live here in the United States. So I start this new channel because I think it makes sense, right? So if you don't subscribe yet, please show some love and smash this like button. If you're from Brazil, don't sweat it. There is a link for the same episode in Portuguese on the description field below. Thank you so much. Well, what do we have here? As you can see, there is no any cable here. It works with a rechargeable battery. Anyways, we're going to have two modes to work with this little thing: the preset mode and the live mode. On the preset mode, you're going to have a very bad gap between the presets. And I prefer work with this shit on the live mode. Just hit these two. There you go. Now you're on the live mode. It's gonna be work like a separate pedals. And you can turn off the distortion or amp simulation, turn off the modulation and delay, and turn off or turn on the impulse response and reverb. By the way, this is not a very good idea. Put in the same switch the impulse response and the reverb, because if you need to turn it off, your reverb, and you use this thing like I am using right now directly inside my audio interface, it's gonna be very bad if you need to, just turn off the impulse response section. You're going to have 8 different impulse response here. Reverb. On delay, you're going to have the time, feedback, and mix. Here you're going to have 3 different types of modulations with the settings of the speed of the modulation. You're going to have flanger, phaser, and chorus. And here you're going to have the tone and the gain of each kind of amplifier type, like distortions types and clean sounds, and several different types of distortions here, and amp types. And you're going to have the volume, and that's it. Also, you can load your own impulse response here via USB. They provide the USB cable, and you also can install their editor in your computer and set up everything by the editor. But I don't think it's a case here because it's super simple. And I'm going to show in a couple of minutes. It's super simple, super fast to set up and easy. Just to load the impulse response, I think is a good idea. Use the editor. You need to use the editor to do that. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use my BLB Solar with the EMG pickups inside the Cuvave. And the Cuvave goes inside my audio interface. Disclaimer, the video that you're going to watch right now is the version in Portuguese with my voice in English over my voice in Portuguese. Otherwise, it's going to be too complicated. Shoot 2 different videos with the same content for 2 different channels. Thank you for understanding. Let's go to the video. Let's put some reverb here. Turn it off the reverb. When you turn off the reverb, you turn off the impulse response loader as well. This is a very stupid idea. I don't think it would be too expensive if they put on the knob of impulse response a way to turn it off, the impulse response, instead they put on the same switch. Well, let's try another type of distortion or amp, if you prefer. This one has less gain. Let's see another one. Let's try some delay. Let me turn it off, this reverb, I don't like it. Well, so far, so okay. Let's try a bluesy distortion. Turn it off the delay and bring back the reverb a little bit. There is a classic rock and roll here, a plexi vibe. If I boosted this tone, it's gonna be very cool, I think. Well, let's try some clean sounds now. Let's try some chorus here. You're going to have on this knob phaser, flanger, and chorus. Let me change this impulse response here because I think in general sounds super metallic and boxy. I think it's decent, clean sound. Let me try another one. This one is a little bit more fat. There is a very annoying metallic tone here. I think it's a reverb. I really don't like this reverb at all. I don't know, in general it's pretty honest and okay tones, but you need to consider the price. There is nothing on the market with the range of the prices, the most affordable multi-effects on the market today. Almost forgot to mention, there is an editor that you can download and install on your computer to add the presets and everything and save, but I don't think you're going to need to do that besides load the impulse responses, but because it's super simple and very intuitive way to, you know, program or even set up the tone here. Well, let's try each impulse response here and see how they sound. Let's put some distortion. This one is too boxy. Just remember how important the cab and the microphone is. As you can see, when you swap the impulse responses, everything is changing here. So, as you can see, it's pretty awesome for $49.99. It's super affordable. It's ridiculous affordable, by the way. And it's not for professional approach, in my opinion. And there is some bad things, in my opinion. The reverb is too metallic. I don't like the tone of reverb. I don't like at all. It's a very decent delay. Some decent impulse response, other impulse response too boxy, but you can always load your own impulse response. I recommend my impulse response on the left KMA Audio store. I'm going to do another video just loading my impulse response and see what difference those impulse response can make. Other thing I think it's not so cool, when you swap between the distortion types, amp types, there is too much variation of volume. And you need to always set up again the output volume. And I think it was not a good idea put in the end of the signal flow the impulse response. I prefer the impulse response before the modulation and the delay and reverb, because sounds more like a studio situation. If I put the effects over my sound after the microphone. And as you can see here, it's gonna be different. They show the signal flow here. It's gonna be the tuner. By the way, the tuner is not chromatic tuner. It's okay, but it's not chromatic. And you're going to have the amp, modulation, delay, reverb, and impulse response at the end of the line. And I prefer the impulse response after those effects, especially when I work directly inside my audio interface here. On the live situation, there is no problem because you're going to use the impulse response off inside the amplifier. And there is another thing that I don't like it, the fact that you need to turn off the impulse response cab and the reverb at the same time. If you need to use inside the mix console live or inside the audio interface, like here, it's not a good idea. Turn off the impulse response, right? If you need to use that live on the professional situation, you're going to need at least an equalizer on the output and a boost, an overdrive or a boost into the unit here, because some distortion, as you're able to listen, is not that super high gain metal tone. You need to, sometimes, especially for shred stuff, you're going to need a boost in the front of this shit. But for the price and for the size, I think it's very cool piece of gear and super affordable. It's $50. Come on, for $50, $49.99. Well, I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up. Check my last single here. This is the video for my new album that I'm going to release at the end of 2022. Show some love, spread the word. See you next time.